We all know that budget day is just the opening salvo, so what tips do you have for reporters to follow the money over the coming months as the real sausage making gets underway?
In getting ready for this, one of the things I do is call some of the economists who regularly blog on the failures of the press, and one of the things including Beat the Press, one of the things that they mention is putting the numbers in context. Like, if you're going to report on a number, have some fun with it. Like, don't just put the number, put what percentages of the budget, or maybe compare it, if it's an obscure program, maybe compare it to funding for something else, that kind of idea. Or divide it out per number of Americans, but always give some context for the number.
You're going to have now available on every member's website, and this is House and Senate, Obie and Enaway worked this out, where members are going to have to put all of their earmark requests on their own websites. And so that will be interesting to check then against what is actually included in the bills when they come out, which ones made the cut, which ones didn't. I think in some ways I agree it would be nice if we had this all in one place. On the other hand, I think it might discourage members from doing favors for lobbyists for things that don't really directly benefit the district. I mean, sometimes these earmarks will show up and they don't even have anything to do with the member's district, and that's where the member is helping somebody out. So I think members may be less inclined to do that if they're having to put this on their own website and somebody back in Podunk, Idaho says, wait a minute, this has nothing to do with the state of Idaho anymore. Why is this contractor from California getting this special thing? So it might actually have the effect of discouraging members from putting these abusive type earmarks in bills.
Ditto both of them. I think looking for context is great. The other things are in terms of comparison. I used to work with I was a researcher for Don Bartlett and Jim Steele, and one of the things that I loved about them was they would put money in terms that you could understand it like that's the equivalent of the entire GDP of the states of, and New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, whatever, to give a sense of that there are different kinds of scales you can give to numbers. And when you're talking about a stimulus package that's $825 billion that's supposed to create 3 million jobs, well, how much are we spending to create each job? One of my favorites that they did was, again, this was stimulus spending at the state level, but they did a series on corporate welfare, and they talked about how much tax breaks were going to this one particular company and how many jobs it was supposed to create. And it turned out they were spending $200,000 to create, each particular dock job. That jobs working in this. It was at Philadelphia. They were trying to replace the Navy shipyard, and you could just give the people that money directly, and you probably have a better deal. So. Just kind of things like that. And then as far as following the earmarks, yeah, comparing what was asked for to what's gotten. And also just keep a close eye on, I think that one of the really interesting things that's going to happen here is going to be the tension between Congress and its prerogatives in terms of the budget. They want to have earmarks. They want that same, even though we have now one-party rule, you're still going to have members saying things like, I don't want some faceless bureaucrat in Washington deciding things for my district, and how is that going to play out? And you've got the Obama administration saying basically what every administration says, we want to make all the decisions, we're the deciders. And so that'll be an interesting thing just to keep an eye on the tension between that and how members, how that plays out over the next year.